So the creation of a music video to be attached to the fixture just happened naturally after I signed HEMI's Fire in the Sky onto the film in March of 2008. They had released the album the previous year, a couple months before that, and I just came across, obviously showing the age of everything, I came across their stuff on MySpace after I kind of put Metallica's Enter Sandman as the 10th track into the scene with myself and Ryan in front of the strip mall there in the film and everything. Is kind of a something that I originally didn't intend to, but I kind of threw it in there just like toying around with things. Like, yeah, it kind of gives the scene the right vibe, like a little bit more going for it and everything. And once I found their track, it was the right style, the right vibe, the right everything for it. And again, meeting Trent to sign off the license, all that type of stuff for the track to be in the film. I met them at the rehearsal studio, watched them all rehearse and everything, and it was just saying they constantly was a thing in the back of our minds about what we ended up doing and everything. And over the course of the next couple months, throughout the entire summer, started getting Eric Woltman involved, the whole thing about figuring out where we're going to shoot it, what we're going to do, all this type of stuff. And we thought about a couple different locations that didn't end up working and whatnot, but just being the big old warehouse rehearsal studio that the guys were renting in at the time, we were able to secure something else in the adjacent building and everything. And it just we just kind of hit the ground running on that day and everything. We didn't really come in with too much of a plan, but once Eric got there and started seeing what we had to work with, he set up different lighting schemes, the different dolly tracks and all this type of stuff. We had 3 cameras running at the same time and everything, and it was just saying Eric just took control of the whole thing generally in just terms of a visual style and everything, and did originally have a slightly different type of idea for it in terms of the how it's editing the whole thing, where it's going to be like a lot of close-up tight shots of different things, whatnot, when we revealed the band until a certain point in the video and everything, but that didn't go over too very well, whatnot, and I ended up getting a lot more input from everyone involved, ended up re-editing the whole thing into the version that we eventually got. So it ended up being a lot of good things that kind of steer me off of this sort of more dramatic reveal of the band and the video whatnot, and just make it much more straightforward. Obviously it worked out a lot better, and implementing the footage from the film into the scenes whatnot really came off as saying very much of the style of the film and whatnot, sort of an 80s neo-noir type of film and whatnot, to have something like same what it seemed like for like a Point Break or a Top Gun or something like that at the time, just those types of music videos, splice the footage in and just have that vibe of it with a sort of clean sheen of a more modern production and whatnot, with the colors we had going on and stuff like that. So it's like so much of it was a lot of stuff with what Eric just did cinematically with the whole thing, the lighting, the camera movement, all this stuff. He just like went into creative overload and just like firing off on all cylinders, doing everything, and using a different room for like the solo of the song and whatnot. We just nailed it all over the place, and just like it was a really solid thing. I think we were there for me like from 8 hours, from like noon to 8 p.m. from the time we arrived there to start loading everything up and all this type of stuff. It all worked out really, really well, and we ended up premiering on different sites, and it just started taking off so very well, and we eventually started getting more traction. Our YouTube page just started putting it out there, and we even did like a performance-only version of the whole thing, which was kind of what the band was Trent was kind of like, well, let's also have this other version of it to just have it or whatnot. And so I kind of did this sort of like black and white and color sort of composition and the whole thing and all that type of stuff. So it's very interesting, and just like the fact that the thing was such a launching point so much for promoting the band over the next several years, to really get something of that high quality to their credit, to bring them up above a lot of other bands on their same level. They have something of that production quality to kind of promote themselves and push forward and have them latch onto, was a really good type of thing to be able to cross promote that with the band and the film. I think it was extremely advantageous for both of us, and it sparked off a collaboration that's gone on for so many years now and everything, and dealt with different projects, some stuff that didn't work out, some other stuff that's worked out fantastically, branched out in so many different ways, and just continue a friendship and collaboration all these years. It's just like there's so many advantageous things that came out of it, of the film in general, but that's one of the best things that happened just off of a happenstance of choosing to throw a temp music song in there and then having to find something that fit that vibe and style. And now I could not even think of any other song that could possibly fit the quality of that scene, and just have that old school style of metal in there and everything, with a fresh band and whatnot. it was just absolutely perfect, and it's still one of the most enduring songs from that original album that they put out in 2007. So everything that came off so well, that song has become such a staple, such a landmark of the band, that every single lineup has performed it live, and just like it's their signature song in a certain way. Just like no matter what happens, it's always this thing that's sort of like the anchor of their live sets in a certain way. So that's meant so much to the band. The music video, the song, the collaboration, everything like that is so feed into and kind of grown out of that. So it's been a really fantastic thing to have that be such a major thing for both myself and for the band itself. It's fantastic. So great stuff to have dealt with that and got that sort of thing to get off the ground, because I always really wanted to do a music video, and that was such a great thing to do. And many years later, producing a new one for their Avalon album was also a fantastic thing for Revengeance. Awesome stuff all across the board there. So couldn't be happier with everything I've done with this band from day one all the way through. So it's a fantastic thing. So that's awesome to have made that, and it's such a great thing for the legacy of this film and our friendship so much.